Folks, we finally made it. Chiefs training camp is upon us as rookies report tomorrow. And coming up on today's show, we're going to take a look at three things regarding the rookies that I am going to keep an eye on as training camp is here. So stay tuned for that. But first, we got our AFC West July sub-battle that is ongoing. We're trying to close the gap with the Raiders report. They lead the way with 229 subscribers this month. We're sitting there at 178. Broncos breakdown at 124. Let's run away from the Donkeys and catch up to the Raiders. So hit that sub button if you want daily Chiefs content. It's going to be coming your way moving forward. I'm Harrison Graham from Chat Sports, and like I said, training camp is finally here. July 16th, tomorrow, is when rookies and quarterbacks report to training camp, and it's just an exciting time, right? Like, football's back in the air. I mean, the college football video game came out today. I mean, it doesn't get much better than this if you are a football and a sports fan. And like I said on today's show, three rookie storylines I'm monitoring as camp gets going here. And number one is the first-round pick, Xavier Worthy. Is he fully healthy? He had some level of a hamstring injury in the offseason program, missed most of OTAs and mandatory minicamp as well. Obviously, being a smaller, twitchy guy, those soft tissue injuries are always going to be something to monitor for a player like him. But the hope is he's healthy and he can get going because he lost out on some reps, obviously, during the offseason. Aaron Ladd a few months ago had the note that Xavier Worthy left practice and was sidelined with a hamstring strain. Now, again, those strains can be all over the place, and it sounded like at the time it was more of a kind of precautionary deal, like we're just not going to push it right now. This is what Andy Reid said at the end of minicamp leading into training camp, saying, yeah, he should be able to be ready for training camp. He'll continue to get treatment here. He's getting better. He'll get treatment, and we'll just see how he rehabs through that. With Xavier Worthy coming back from injury for the start of training camp, presumably he is healthy. Obviously, now what you want to see is to build that connection with Patrick Mahomes because he lost out on those reps by missing most of the offseason program. Missed most of OTAs, wasn't present for mandatory minicamp. He was present but wasn't able to practice with that hamstring strain. Hopefully he is back and healthy because obviously he's got an opportunity to compete for a big role on this team. Rashee Rice is likely your number one receiver, but it's not a guarantee that it's going to play out like that. So hopefully he can get in there, hit the ground running, compete with these guys, and again, get those reps with Mahomes as this team is chasing a third straight Super Bowl run. So hopefully Worthy is healthy and ready to go from day one. And again, when you look at this depth chart, Rashee Rice obviously deserves the benefit of the doubt in terms of the on-the-field role of being that number one wide receiver. I don't expect a suspension this season at this point, as his next court date isn't until December. And if you've followed recent issues in the NFL, they typically let the legal system play out at this point. But that doesn't mean it's locked down either. Like, if you're Xavier Worthy, you should be coming in here with the thought of, I can at least be a starter and not or at least have a big role right away. I mean, this wide receiver room, it has a lot of names, but it doesn't have a lot of world beaters, if you know what I mean. I'm high on the Marquise Brown edition. I think he's going to fit in well. I like Rashee Rice as a player, but obviously he's only been in the league for 1 year. They traded up for Worthy for a reason, so the opportunity is there to grab reps and to grab that role. And now with him hopefully being healthy, you just hope he takes advantage of that. What do you guys think? Will Xavier Worthy be a go tomorrow for training camp? Do you think he's healthy? Type Y for yes, type in for no. I would think yes. It's all the chatter at the time, 6-8 weeks ago, was this is more precautionary than anything else. If he's not, that's not super promising. All right, rookie storyline number 2. Can Kingsley Suamataia push for a starting job at left tackle? Obviously, this is a discussion and a position that we've discussed a lot on this channel. Is that left tackle spot. Donovan Smith hasn't been re-signed, still a free agent, and you got two young guys competing over there. You drafted Suamataia in the second round, who, look, has the tools to be a really good player in this league. I think he's pretty raw. I don't think he's ready to be a week one starting left tackle, especially for a high-level contender like Kansas City. but he's certainly going to have the opportunity. I don't think if you're the Chiefs, you just roll into camp like, yep, Wanya Morris is he's the guy, no competition whatsoever. I would expect Suamataia to get a look. Maybe do they give Lucas Niang a look over there? He's more of been a right tackle in his career, so that would surprise me. But at the end of the day, I don't think they have a clear-cut answer right now. You look at how Morris performed last year, it was okay. It's kind of what you would expect as a third-round rookie filling in, right? Like he had some highs, had some lows. I think as a backup last year, he performed well enough. Do you want this over 17 games, though? Probably not. So if he's going to start, you're banking on him taking a step forward. So Matai, look at his college grades, much more polished as a pass blocker, which if you'd rather have one or the other, especially for this offense, you would take that. But still, I mean, there's a ways to go here. There's some technique stuff that needs refining, needs NFL coaching with an offensive line coach for 12 months. So, I kind of view him as I viewed Morris last year. Like, I think as a backup, if he needs to come in and, in a smaller sample size, he can hold his own. But do I view him as a 17-game starter? I don't really view either of these guys as someone who's going to give you high-level play over 17 games. Like, they're just young. Wanya's a young guy. Second-year player who was really raw coming out of Oklahoma. Like Suamataia, has the tools, but limited experience, in college and especially last year as well. Now, Josh Edwards of CBS named him as a potential breakout candidate and had this to say about Morris, quote, his career has been defined by inconsistency to this point. Right tackle at Oklahoma, Morris will now compete with second-round pick Kingsley Suamataia for the starting left tackle position. The lack of urgency to sign a veteran in free agency suggests that Kansas City may have more confidence than the general public in protecting Mahomes' blind side. And look, if I had to guess right now, I would say Wanya Morris is probably going to be your week one starter at left tackle, but I'm still beating the drum to go sign somebody, whether that's David Bakhtiari, whether that's bringing back Donovan Smith, someone else. There could be a surprise cut between now and week one. And look, the Chiefs may feel comfortable that one or two of these free agents are still going to be available in the next month, and they might say, hey, let's get the pads on. Let's see how the young guys hold up early on in camp, a preseason game or two. And if it's ugly, we're going to go sign somebody. That could be the approach. So we'll have to wait and see. I just view this like, hey, like you have a chance to enter rarefied air as a 3 straight Super Bowl champion. Like, do everything you can to take advantage of it. Like, if you can find an upgrade at left tackle, you need to do that if you are Brett Veach. Who do you guys think will start at left tackle? Type WM for Wanya Morris or KS for Kingsley Suamataia. If it's out of these two, I would guess Morris because he's been here for a year. But let me know what you guys think. Chiefs Kingdom, we got that hat and T-shirt combo still available on sale. Limited time only with training camp here. Perfect time to gear up. Chatsports.com/KC combo. That link will be in the comments and in the description of this video. Go ahead and click and shop today and get yourself a hat and T-shirt combo on sale. All right, third thing I'm looking at, and I'm looking at all the rookies, but Jared Wiley. Is he poised for a big role? I thought he slipped a little in the draft. I thought he might go second, third round. You get him in the fourth, and said it a couple months ago. His play style is, I think, as a receiving tight end, his style, not how good he's going to be, but it's similar to Kelsey. Big guy, he can make people miss after the catch. Like, he's not just a catch and go down guy like a lot of tight ends are. Like, he's got some wiggle. He can be a red zone threat. Now, no one's saying he's Travis Kelsey. I'm not saying that, but play style wise, like there are some similarities there. And when you look at the Chiefs' offense this past year, they used multiple tight end sets over a third of the time, 34.4%. And that's kind of where the NFL has reverted back to. A few years ago, is some teams they're trying to incorporate the air raid in the NFL, and that kind of flamed out. And now you're seeing the Shanahans, these different offenses go to these multiple tight end sets. Chiefs do a decent amount of it as well. And obviously Noah Gray is going to have the inside track to be that number 2 guy. He's been in the system for a while, but I think Jared Wiley can unseat Irv Smith Jr. pretty easily as a number 3 tight end. For one, he's a much better blocker. And two, I think he gives you more juice and size of the position than Smith does as a receiving threat as well. And let's be real. Like we saw it last year, Andy Reid is starting to limit Travis Kelce's snaps throughout the course of a 17-game season because he wants him to be fresh for the playoffs like he was last year, played awesome, unleashed him more. So you're going to need Jared Wiley, in my opinion, to give you some quality snaps. Now, Mahomes had this to say about the rookie tight end during OTAs, quote, "The more he gets down the field, he really makes those tough contested catches. I want him to play more physical. I know it's kind of hard in OTAs, but I think he can make those tough contested catches kind of like in the middle of the field, and he's faster than people think he is, and so he played good." So kind of a lot there, but look, is he going to have a big role? It's kind of hard for a tight end on a team that has Travis Kelce to have a big role if you're not Travis Kelce. But again, there are going to be opportunities. Kelce's not going to play 100% of the snaps, especially early on in the regular season. They're going to ease him in a little bit. They run multiple tight end sets. I like Noah Gray, but he does not have the juice that Wiley does as a receiver. I said it earlier in the offseason. I'll say it again. It would not shock me if by the end of the season, Wiley was the number 2 tight end on this team. I don't think that'll be the case early on, but he'll have opportunities. He'll get a chance to contribute. I think in the red zone, you'll see him out there some, and if he proves his worth, he's only going to get more and more opportunities. So big training camp for him to try and hit the ground running and show this coaching staff and Patrick Mahomes that, hey, like, I'm someone you can rely on. So, again, I don't think sky-high expectations are fair or even necessary, but I do think the kid can play, and I think he will be a factor this year. How about this for an over-under? 250 yards for Jared Wiley. Type O for over or U for under. I think that's a fair number. Like, I could see him catching between 20 and 35 balls this year, and you average 10-ish yards per catch, 25, 27 catches, you're probably in that 250 range. Type O for over, U for under. Let us know what you guys think. And again, let's beat the Raiders report this month. We're halfway through the month of July, so hit that sub button, turn on notifications. Training camp is here. We'll see you guys with more coverage tomorrow.